These ideas are inspired by Alan Watts, amazing thinker, and lots of other people too. Ram Dass, Confucius, Marcus Aurelius. This is inspired by a lot of great thinkers. The one thing that I was thinking that was thinking of was how the definitions of words changed quite a lot. For example, awe. Awe, used in the Bible, used in other literary works as well. Right now it has a meaning of inspiring, almost like ecstatic, right? It's awe, right? You just feel awe in presence. And yes, that's one connotation of it. But another way it was used, which was like, that's the positive connotation, right? It's breathtaking, right? It's awe. But another way it was used was, it's awe, right? It's like terror, right? Absolute sheer terror, right? You're just stuck in place because it's so overwhelming, right? That's awe. And that was kind of like the more older definition, right? That's kind of what it means, to be in awe of God, right? To be in awe of the angels. And both of them, right? Both of them have their meaning. Awful, right? Awful. Awesome, awesome. But they both come from awe. So there's almost like these two, it's like a dichotomy, but they represent the same emotion. The positive and the negative, awe, they both represent the whole concept of awe, right? The whole total of awe. Similarly, with the idea of a holy man, this isn't the etymology, this isn't the etymology, but the holy man, holy people, right, holy woman, comes from the wholeness of a person who's whole, holy. What do I mean? A person who has both the negative, right, the evil side, and a person who's also good, has the positive side, right? But when you combine them together, that's a whole, a complete person. Every person has that negative, right, the evil, and the positive, the good, right? But the person, the complete person, the whole person, is all of it, right? It's all of it, the totality of it. So a holy person is really a person who's complete, a whole human being. That's what holy refers to, right? So a holy man, woman, person, being can be terrifying, right? They can be evil, but they can also be saintly, right? They can be compassionate as well, right? It's the whole totality of human experience, right? That's a holy person. So just like with awe, holy also has the negative connotation and the positive connotation. But holy is the whole, right? The concept holy represents the whole aspect of it, just like awe. And why I wanted to talk about this is there's another idea that's kind of captivated modern society, right? It's the idea of creation. In the old, like let's say Hindu religions and other Buddhism, even old Gnostic Christianity, there was the concept of creation and destruction, right? But they were two parts of this same process, right? Creation leads to destruction, leads to creation, leads to destruction, right? Like the Ouroboros, right? Death and rebirth, right? Life and death, positive, negative, black and white. All these opposites were part of the same unity, right? The transcendent. I guess what the Buddha would call the middle way, right? The transcendent third path. Beyond, it's not evil, it's not good, it's beyond evil and good, and as Nietzsche would say, right? It's beyond both of them, right? It transcends those two dualities, right? It's the one thing behind the two, as Ram Dass would say. So right now, I think in our society today, we kind of have this concept messed up, right? We think we can have all creation without destruction, right? We think destruction is a bad thing, right? But not necessarily, right? It doesn't have to be. And the reason why I say this is because, for example, our economy is built in this way, right? We create, right? We produce all this stuff, but we don't think about the destruction, right? It's a linear economy. We extract the resources, right? Cut down the trees, we mine the mountains, right? We fish the oceans, but we don't think about how to recycle it, right? The circular economy. We don't think about the circular economy. I think that's why we're having so much of this issue, right? We think about the creation, the production, but we don't think about what to do afterwards, right? From cradle to grave, right? We only think about it linearly. We don't think about it circularly. So I think that's why we're running into like all these sustainability issues, right? Deforestation, soil erosion, even things like not just ecological, right? Environmental, but also social, right? Social sustainability, economical sustainability, with things like debt, political instability, right? Wealth gaps, right? All these issues, I think they really stem from the looking at only one half, right? One half of the whole system. We're only looking at the creation, right? The life aspect, right? But life, in order to have life, we need death, right? We need death. Life and death are part of the same process. Just like creation, destruction, happiness, sadness, negative, positive, right? They're part of the same whole, right? One can't exist without the other. And I think that's why we're getting into so much trouble. Not really trouble, because nothing's trouble, but in the sense of why we're stuck, right? We're stuck because we're stuck in a singular mindset. We're only thinking about creation, positive, right? Life. We're only thinking about one aspect. We're not thinking about the other half. That's essential. We're not thinking about the destruction. We're not thinking about the death. And it is, it's a hard thing to talk about, absolutely, right? I don't know anyone who likes to talk about death, who likes to talk about destruction, but we have to talk about it, right? We have to talk about it, because it's a part of life. Life is a part of death. Death is a part of life. Like Taoism, right? The yin and the yang, they go together. They go together. So I think that's kind of what's missing, right? We cut the whole into two parts, right? We dichotomized the unity, right? The oneness, the wholeness into two, right? So that's why the concept of awful and awesome, right? It was one awe, right? It used to be one single awe, but then it became separated. Awful and awesome. Holy man also used to be one concept, right? A holy evil and a holy good, right? A whole person. But then we separated, right? A holy saint and a holy sinner. We separated the concept of creation, right? Creativity and destruction, which is also creative, right? A creative destruction. Just like fires, right? The fires that burn down forests, it's destruction, right? It seems terrible. It seems terrible, but then later, that fire, right? All the new organic matter creates thriving life, right? All the new plants, all the new trees, right? They can, because you clear out the old growth, right? You clear out all the cover, new life can emerge from the ashes, like a phoenix rising from the ashes. That's what it's all about, right? The Ouroboros, the phoenix, death and rebirth, yin and yang. It's all the same thing, right? It's about the duality, which is actually one. The one.